A single mother befriends a couple unable to conceive children. However, her true intentions are not so friendly as her greedy desires get ahead of her. A distressed woman scoops up a crying baby, stating they must leave. As she descends the stairs, a man arrives, so she flees to the kitchen. She pleads to be set free, but he strangles her. The woman grasps around the counter and gets hold of a knife. She stabs him, and the man mutters the name Maddie before collapsing. Years later, Dr. Brian Morgan greets his wife, Dr. Angela Morgan, and daughter, Cora, in their bedroom. Afterward, the family leaves the house together. Brian is off to work while Angela and Cora head to a group activity. At the park, Angela records Cora playing with Maddie. Maddie's mom, Katie, and Angela introduce themselves to each other when Linda, their mutual friend, walks up to them. Glad that the two have finally met. That night, the women get to know each other over drinks at the Morgans. When Brian gets home, he discovers the women asleep. Angela wakes up and introduces her sleeping friend Katie before the couple go up to their bedroom. As they leave, Katie's eyes open, staring at them fiercely. The next morning, they are greeted by laughter and their guest making food. They all get acquainted over breakfast. Later, during face painting, Katie shares her plan to start a business painting murals. Angela thinks it's a great idea and encourages her to pursue it. Then, Linda comes over to take pictures. Although initially reluctant, Katie eventually joins the pictures. On Memorial Day, the Morgans invite friends over for a meal. They all toast, and Donna, Brian's mother, compliments Katie's cooking. Night falls and Linda excuses herself. Katie gets up to leave as well, but Angela invites her to stay the night, to which she accepts. Later, Katie tucks Maddie and Cora in bed. As the couple clean up, Brian shares that Donna doesn't like Katie. Their guest overhears them, but is more troubled at seeing a knife, triggering her memories of stabbing someone. Angela invites the trembling guest outside, where Katie absent-mindedly plays with a necklace she claims her abusive ex-husband gave her. She also shares that she was fortunate to have met people that helped abused women disappear. Angela shares a secret of her own, saying that they needed a donor egg after suffering 4 miscarriages. After receiving a donor, she resorted to taking medication to manage the pain throughout her pregnancy. She also reveals that she's now pregnant again, but hasn't told Brian yet. The following day, Katie is at her motel, putting on colored contacts as she recalls the day she escaped with Maddie. Meanwhile, Angela is at another group activity and her pregnancy problems resurface. Soon, Angela suffers another miscarriage, devastated that she can't give Brian the big family or son that he desires. Her husband consoles her, saying they can always try again. The next day, the couple and Angela's friends take a stroll. Katie announces that she's moving out of the motel to take a job in Colorado. The news disappoints everyone, but she says she needs the money. Angela offers Katie to be their part-time nanny and commissions a mural for Cora's room. Katie is grateful but declines, stating the Morgans don't need a nanny. Angela then informs them that she's planning to go back to work part-time. She goes on to say that Katie wouldn't have to leave. Cora and Maddie can stay together, and Angela can return to her passion. As the new nanny gets settled in the guest house, Donna remains skeptical about the couple's decision. Brian says it's good for Angela's recovery, so Donna questions which specific recovery. Exasperated, Brian states that his wife has been clean of addiction for 2 years. His mother then talks about their new nanny, wary that they know nothing about her. During the Morgans gathering with friends, Donna subtly interrogates Katie, asking about her family background. Unashamed, the nanny reveals that she was raised in foster care because her father left them and her mother was an addict. Furthermore, the Morgans' heartwarming welcome has made her feel like family, and she's eager to take care of Cora as if she was Maddie's sister. That night, Brian is attempting to get intimate with his wife but is rebuffed. Angela apologizes, saying it's too soon after the miscarriage, and then leaves. Disappointed, Brian goes outside to watch the fireworks but instead sees Katie swimming unclothed. On Angela's first day back at work, Katie tells Angela not to worry because Cora won't notice she's gone. Once the doctor leaves, the nanny tours the house as if it was her own. After work, Angela arrives home and calls for her husband. When no one answers, she heads to the guest house. Inside, Katie is having an intimate moment with someone, and Angela flees when she's seen. Once Katie is alone, Angela approaches her to apologize, explaining that she panicked, assuming it was her husband. Hearing this, the nanny clarifies that it was just a coworker and that she's no longer attracted to men. That night, Katie's rendezvous seems to have inspired Angela to try for another baby. The morning after, Linda is training at the beach. Upon Katie's arrival, they kiss and lie down. Katie assumes Angela knows about them, but Linda assures her that no one knows. She then reveals that the Morgans are trying for another baby, but this time with Linda as a surrogate mother. She explains that the Morgans have one last egg from Cora's donor, but Angela doesn't want to risk another miscarriage, so they ask Linda to be the surrogate. Katie then reminds her girlfriend that she still has swim training to do. Linda asks her if she's okay with the news, to which her girlfriend replies that there's no problem. However, when Linda enters the water, Katie looks upset. Later, Katie joins her girlfriend, though she only stands there motionless. Concerned, Linda says she'll withdraw from being Angela's surrogate, assuming this is the cause of her girlfriend's odd behavior. Finally, Katie confesses to being Angela's anonymous donor. Shocked, Linda says Maddie and Cora are the same age. Katie explains that Maddie was carried by someone else, but she forcibly took her back. Then, Katie reveals that she plans to take Cora as well because Angela chose to work instead of looking after her daughter. Afterward, Katie apologizes before hitting Linda and then drowning her. Later, Linda's body is discovered washed ashore. As months pass, Katie settles comfortably in the Morgans' guest house and is now the new surrogate mother, pregnant with their baby. On the patio, Donna questions Angela why they easily chose Linda's runaway girlfriend as their surrogate. Taken aback, Angela could only answer that Katie has been a great friend throughout the miscarriage and Linda's accidental death. Donna asks why Katie would want to be their surrogate, to which Angela succinctly replies $40,000. Donna asks if the surrogate mother will be a permanent part of the child's life or will they kick her out. Angela admits they haven't planned that far ahead before excusing herself. Later, Angela tells Brian about Donna's concerns about Katie. She then asks her husband if he thinks Katie is beautiful. However, Brian avoids the question. His wife continues on, saying Donna thinks Katie was in a relationship with Linda. Curious, Brian asks if Angela believes it. At the park, another mom asks Katie about Maddie and Cora, thinking they're her children. Katie doesn't correct her, instead claiming they're her twins, unaware that Angela is behind her. Upon getting home, Angela announces their favorite show is on and invites Cora to watch it together. However, Cora prefers to watch with Katie, leaving Angela stunned. The following day, Angela brings the surrogate mother to a clinic for a checkup. Katie objects, saying she doesn't want a needle near her baby, and Angela questions why the surrogate mother is claiming the baby as hers. During the exam, Katie recalls the botched donor operation when her ovaries got infected and she learned that she's unable to produce any more eggs. Reliving this memory causes her to panic, so Angela comforts her as the doctor finishes up. Shortly after, Angela gets the doctor to prescribe pain-relieving medications for the pregnant woman. That night, Angela confides to her husband about Katie's strange attitude of claiming Cora. Brian assures her that Katie will move on with her life after their baby is born. It's the first day of school, and Angela notices the girls are dressed similarly. Angela mentions people will assume they are sisters, to which Maddie replies that they are sisters. Katie clarifies that she said only like sisters. Later, Angela sees Katie dyeing Maddie's hair. During dinner, Angela remarks on the surrogate mother's hair color, so Katie explains they started dyeing it when they ran away, though their real color is dark brown. Cora happily exclaims that she has dark brown hair too. Then, Katie comments that their baby is due soon, and wonders when Angela will take her maternity leave. However, Angela says that she doesn't need a maternity leave, opting to hire a night nurse. Brian adds that his wife is happiest when working, so he supports her decision. Therefore, Katie offers to postpone her trip so they don't have to hire a stranger. Uncomfortable, Brian fumbles, explaining that it would be better if Katie was out of the picture. Katie passive-aggressively comments that she understands if they prefer a stranger to raise their kids, then excuses herself and the girls for bath time. The couple are taken aback, but Brian praises Katie for having a hands-on parenting approach. Annoyed, his wife sarcastically suggests they just all be one big family. Stressed, Angela takes out Katie's prescription medicine, but decides against it and dumps it in the trash. Katie witnesses everything before walking away. Later, Katie is soaking in the tub and has another flashback. A few years ago, while Katie was painting a bedroom mural, she heard Maddie's cry, so she checked on the child. Upset, Katie barged into the bathroom and questioned Maddie's mother why she's ignoring Maddie's cries. Enraged at how her baby is being treated, Katie revealed herself as their anonymous donor before slamming the woman's head onto the tub repeatedly. Coming to terms with her actions, Katie took the necklace that she claimed was from her abusive ex. Suddenly, Katie startles awake just as Angela comes over to talk. The surrogate mother cuts her off, calling her an addict. Angela admits to getting a prescription under Katie's name but swears that she threw the medications away unopened, but Katie calls her pathetic and storms off. The next day, Angela snoops around the guest house. She finds Katie's baby books with notes and a picture of Maddie with her father in front of a house. Outside, Katie has just arrived, and Angela successfully sneaks out. That night, Angela looks for the house in the picture online. The following morning, Brian wakes his wife, who rushes off to work. He checks the laptop as his wife leaves and scowls at what he sees. Meanwhile, Katie notices her baby books have been touched. Later, Cora screams, cries, so Katie consoles her, saying Mama's here. Worried, Angela also rushes out and hears Katie calling herself Mama before taking her daughter inside. There, Angela notices her face was intentionally covered in all the pictures posted on the fridge. Then, Katie enters, so Angela confronts her about calling herself Mama. Katie replies by asking when she last acted as Cora's mother. She adds that Angela is guilty for not being enough of a mother, as well as snooping in the guest house. Angela accuses Katie of hiding something and threatens to find it. Just then, Brian enters, oblivious to the women's argument, and invites Angela upstairs for a surprise. They go up, with Brian carrying a package. The surprise is a fully furnished room courtesy of Donna, and a Gabriel nameplate that Katie made. Angela complains, stating they haven't decided on a name yet. The surrogate mother thinks it's perfect, but Angela quickly curses her out, then accuses Brian of talking with Katie behind her back. Brian, unnerved by his wife's abrasive behavior, is speechless. Donna joins in, saying they're all worried about Angela. Angela continues, accusing Katie of telling them about the medications. Brian is confused, so Katie reports that his wife has been self-medicating again. Angela denies taking any and continues explaining that she's upset because Katie keeps referring to herself as Cora's mother. She rambles on, saying they don't know enough about Katie. Donna interjects, saying they know Katie was in an abusive marriage, so Angela points out that if she escaped once, she can escape again with their baby. Angela then asks Katie if she slept with Linda at the guest house, to which the pregnant woman affirms. With this, the frustrated woman points out the surrogate mother's lies since Katie previously claimed it was a coworker. Angela demands to know if Linda's death was accidental, or if Katie got rid of her so she can be their surrogate. Brian tells his wife to stop, but she continues to badger the pregnant woman, who starts showing painful symptoms. Brian escorts the surrogate mother out of the room as Angela accuses the woman of faking distress. Later, the doctor declares Katie and the baby are fine, but they should still visit him tomorrow for further tests. Afterward, Brian tells his wife that she endangered their baby. However, she asserts their baby might already be at risk with Katie. Brian says her actions gave Katie grounds to deny them the baby. He emphasizes that he doesn't want to lose his son and wife. To prove herself, Brian wants a urine sample and an apology to Katie. As the husband leaves, the wife slumps in defeat. The next morning, Angela checks on Cora and finds Katie sleeping with the girls. She then heads for the guest house, but it's locked. She breaks in through a window, cutting herself in the process. Angela looks for the books again, but the notes are all gone. She washes her cut, and upon seeing the contact lenses, she realizes Katie's eye color is fake. Later, the pregnant woman notices Angela's injury, so Angela claims it was from cutting carrots. She then apologizes to Katie, blaming it on the emotional stress of having children that's not technically hers. They hug, and the surrogate mother says she forgives her. Later, Brian brings Katie to the hospital and thanks her for accepting his wife's apology. Meanwhile, Angela checks their anonymous egg donor's file. She then calls the company, reporting that the donor might have found her way into their life, sharing her suspicions that she's dangerous. Still, they will not disclose the donor's identity. Angela then asks about the artist of the mural in their advertisement, pretending she wants a painting. When the worker refuses to answer because the artist is also one of their donors, Angela's suspicions align, so she quickly calls Barry for a DNA test. At the guest house, Katie notices an open window and sees the blood drops on the curtains. The next morning, Angela is entertaining the girls, unaware that Katie is spiking her juice. Angela cleans up and packs her juice bottle, as well as Katie and Cora's cups for the DNA test. On the way out, Brian informs his wife that he took a day off to bring the kids to the zoo. Angela gets to the hospital and drinks her juice. She then hands the 2 cups to Barry before leaving. On her way home, the spiked drink's effects kick in, and she suspects something's wrong with the juice. However, she powers through it and drives home. The befuddled woman arrives home and she's greeted with a surprise baby shower. Not in the best mood, she approaches Brian as he's explaining how much effort Katie put on the shower. Angela accuses the woman of trying to kill her, announcing that she was drugged. She then tells her husband that their surrogate mother is their anonymous donor and shows pictures as proof. They argue in front of their friends, so Brian dismisses the guests. Angela retreats to the kitchen, and Katie follows her in the guise of trying to make things better. There, Angela points a knife at her, but the pregnant woman knows she is untouchable because of the baby. Privately, Katie doesn't deny any of Angela's allegations, confident that no one will believe her. So Angela asks why she's doing this. The surrogate mother reveals that she sacrificed herself to give other women her eggs. However, she was disappointed that they weren't cherished as she had hoped. Now, she's finally pregnant with her last egg. When Angela reveals that a DNA test was done, Katie whispers menacingly that she'd rather die than give them Gabriel, and then pulls Angela's hand to stab herself. The pregnant woman screams screams for help and proceeds to hurt herself more to frame Angela. Brian runs in and sees the women struggling with a knife, so he separates them, but not before his wife gets stabbed by the vicious woman. Soon, paramedics arrive and both women are brought to the hospital. At the lobby, Barry delivers the DNA test results that Angela requested to Brian, who is shocked at the results. Then, another doctor approaches the distraught man to deliver news. While a nurse is tending to Katie, Brian informs her of Angela's death. As he leaves, the woman bids him to stay. Reluctantly, he offers his support, during which the surrogate mother apologizes for what happened. Brian flatly responds that she did what she had to do. The woman's emergency C-section is about to happen, so she pleads for him to stay. She lies down and forces a kiss, declaring her love for Brian before being put to sleep. Later, Brian enters the room and Katie asks where Gabriel is. He reports that there were complications, but the baby is okay. He points to one of the babies in the nursery, and a nurse carries Gabriel so they can see. When Katie exclaims how beautiful Gabriel is, Brian bids her to take a good look because it's going to be her last. He then goes into the baby room and carries his baby. However, when Katie stands up to follow, the door is locked. The bewildered woman watches through the glass as Angela walks in, causing her to beat and scream at the glass. Soon, authorities arrive and eventually, Katie is convicted and put in solitary confinement. Meanwhile, Brian is savoring the sun and air before entering his home. There, Angela, Cora, and Maddie are sleeping together, while Gabriel is at his own baby bed. Brian wakes up his wife and gets her a locket with pictures of the children inside. The couple fall asleep soundly, content at finally having the big family that they've always desired.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.